Hi, this is Jared Fiel. I'm the Regional Communication Manager here at CDOT, and in recognition of Public Service Recognition Week, we wanted to talk to the person in Region 4 who has the longest tenure in public service, and that is Mr. Mark Guerrero. Say hi, Mark.
Hello.
So Mark, we're very excited that you wanted to do our Meet Your Neighbor thing. So how many years of public service have you had now?
I've had, this March was 37 years.
37 years, holy cow. What got you, how did you get started in public service?
In high school, I really enjoyed math, and I was taking actually a couple of math courses at the same time. And the summer, when I was getting ready to graduate, one of my math teachers asked me what I was going to do, and I was going to take a year off and decide what I really wanted to do. And he said, well, he says, you know, I know a person over at CDOT, and they hire temporary employees. He says, you know, and I'll put a reference in for you. And I said, well, sure, I'll do that. And so he got a hold of L.G. Duncan and Bob Patrick at the time. And I interviewed with them, and they said, yeah, I'll start temporary. And again, I got out of school on a Friday, and my last day was on a Friday. And I had talked to them, and I had asked them when they wanted me to start, and they wanted me to start on Monday. I said, okay, you know, I'll go ahead and I'll start on Monday. Well, they put me out on I-76 on a project right away, and Carla Harding was my party chief out there. And so we started doing some blue topping out there, and it would come Wednesday or some day there. I asked Carla, I said, well, you know, do you mind if I take Friday off? And she says, you know, she kind of looked at me funny and said, well, you just started Monday, you know, what do you need off for? And I told her, I said, well, I need to graduate. So that Friday, we're practicing for graduation on Saturday. And I told her, I'll be back on Monday. So yeah, that's how my career was. See, I started as temporary, and that was in '92.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and then so again, I figured, man, I worked 6 months, so I took some time. I figured I'll take some time.
Not 92, 82, right?
82, yeah. And I figured, well, you know, I worked the 6 months, and I figured I'll take some time off and really decide what I want to do. And so my mom one day, you know, and I put in for full-time at the time. And, you know, my mom came up one day and said, well, you know, hey, it's getting, you know, summer's going to be here. You better decide what you want to do. And so I said, well, I'm really not sure if I want to go to school yet. And so I said, I'll go down and I'll talk to Bob Patrick, you know, LG down there, and see if they need me for summer again. And so when I walked out of the house, and when I was walking to my car, I figured, I'll check the mail. So I checked the mail, and I had a job offer for permanent with CDOT.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was for Sterling. It was a job in Sterling.
Okay.
So yeah, I interviewed with Dwayne in Sterling, and you know, I told Dwayne, I'll come down here, I'll move down here, and I'll do you the best job I can do. But I want you to know that I'd like to get back to the mountains sometime, you know, to the Front Range. And
Gotcha.
He was fine with that. And so I worked there for, you know, I think it was like 3 years.
Holy
almost,
cow.
Yeah. And then I moved to Loveland. I got put on I-25, so I was on loan. And then once Loveland, they had a position come open, so I transferred in with Don Atkins, and then I was eventually ended up in the survey unit with Joe Supernaut. So, and then I took over. I've been supervisor of the survey unit since '96.
And it's certainly changed a lot. I mean, now you're actually doing stuff with drones now.
Oh yeah, that's the big question that a lot of people ask me. How can you be, how can you be doing the same job for 37 years? And it's been, my job has changed basically every 5 years with the technology. It just, there's something that I have to research for every part of our job.
And it's keeping you young, right?
What's that?
It's keeping you young, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Well, so Mark, since this is Public Service Recognition Week, I mean, obviously everybody who works here at CDOT, we have that public service mentality, that ability to want to work for the public and all that. Obviously, there's other jobs out there in the private sector and that sort of thing. What's kept you working in with CDOT and in the working for the public sector?
Well, I'm like everybody that's watching this, and we pay taxes, and I've enjoy what I'm doing. I want to do the most we can do with the money that we have, and again, that's really what's kept me in CDOT. The benefits are great. I can't say anything about the benefits. I mean, yeah, it's, I understand sometimes we don't make as much as the private, but again, I've had, I have 3 daughters, and each one of them were in a competitive sport. And with being at CDOT, I was able to watch every one of their games, the majority of their games. And, it's, again, the people are great, because again, the people that are here because they want to help the public and they want to help everybody going on. It's a different mindset than a person that's out for the money.
Absolutely.
And that's really what has driven me to stay where I'm at.
That's very cool. So I want to, other than watching your kids in their sporting events and that sort of thing, what do you do in your off time? What does Mark like to do?
I like to, I've through the sporting, I have done photography.
Oh.
And, again, since, my youngest got out of competitive volleyball, I haven't done as much as I'd like to, because I was really concentrating on sports photography. So now that I don't have anybody in sports, I have to wait for my grandson to grow up.
That's awesome.
And
Well,
that's,
it's awesome to talk to you, and I see that you actually are there in the office a lot. Your whole survey team has pretty much had to stay working because you guys are going in and out for projects all the time right now, right?
yes. Yeah. We tried, we looked at our workload, and we looked at trying to do work from home, but it just did not work out. And again, I want to throw a special thanks to my crew, because that's one of the big reasons I am still here, is the crew that I have. I mean, everybody from Sam Cox, Mark Angel, Art Lacombe, and Lee Groves. They've been troopers to this whole thing, and it's that's why I'm here.
That's awesome. Well, Mark, thank you so much for being our Meet Your Neighbor this week, and happy Public Service Recognition Week to you.